And we are live. We'll have to double check though, but yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah, just getting ready to rip and roll. We've got take a few minutes here to get Puma, our moderator, up and everything. And you know, I kind of like these, Jesse, right? I think
yeah,
this is something we can definitely get used to, right? So
well, it's a chance to speak to the people, who are interested in our project, who want to learn more. And what better than speaking to people who are interested in the project?
Yeah,
getting the word out and hearing from people. Absolutely one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Well, we've done so many of those. I think the Twitter AMAs, they're great. They've got big communities, but for I guess what we're trying to achieve for Propbase Pulse, this being episode 1, where we can actually have maybe like a more in-depth conversation, right? So,
and Kevin, I think people want to see your face. That's just part of it. People like to see you're the boss, and people like to see, the downside of Twitter Spaces, though it's great, is that you can't actually see people, right? But here people can see the real deal. They can see our face. They can hear our voices. I think that's a very positive thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so this should be an exciting one. So it's our this is our first, I guess, first episode of Propbase Pulse. So of our bi-weekly community connect. So every 2 weeks we hop on, we do this, and connect with the community, ask, get some Q&A going, and make it fun.
Let's go. This is great. And are we, I guess, Puma's already in the chat. I see he left some comments, and we've already got at least 2 comments from our viewers. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe we should wait a couple minutes, like give it, say, 5 or so until we think that there's enough people in the room, and then we move into the meat of things.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that we chose Ted Lasso as our kind of mascot here. That's nice.
That was AP launch. They thought that my manager, they in as they've worked with us for a long time, someone on their team, Mo, was saying, hey, look, Kevin's a little bit similar to the management style, I guess, which is like strong leadership, but like in a positive way,
in a friendly way. So now you just need to work on your mustache. Yeah.
I know. Hey, that's episode 2. Yeah. But the Ted Lasso icons, they're a hit on our Telegram channel. So especially in IDO Round 1. Everyone was just going crazy, especially for, I guess, starting like maybe 3 or 4 days before the whitelist round actually started. So
I see more people coming to watch. So welcome everybody who's in.
Oh yeah, great. We got Raphael in. Hey, Raphael. So Raphael's an avid supporter of Propbase, and so he's very well in tune with real estate tokenization, the whole industry trend. So that's it's great to see. Great to see everyone.
Welcome, Raphael. Welcome, Crypto Raver and Video Drawn. I see comments from 3 of you. If more of you leave comments, we'll also say hi.
Yeah, and but yeah, and we've got, I guess, over the next 2 weeks, really, or not even 2 weeks anymore, but over the next 10 days, we've got now a jam-packed schedule of a whole bunch of AMAs. Really starting really Friday is when we really start kicking it off, all the way up until about September 7th, September 8th. And so this will be it's quite fun. I think the fun ones are the ones where you really get to connect with smaller groups of community members. That's that's where you really get the good questions, and you get to interact and everything. And so the bigger ones, people are maybe a little bit less inclined to really talk or write questions, stuff like that.
That's right. Well, we do hope to get some good questions today. And we're going to run through, share some information. We're going to run through some details, and at the end, we're going to, answer your questions. So for those of you who do have questions, leave them in the chat, and we will come back to some of them after we visit the presentation. But don't worry, we will be seeing them.
And don't forget the little cherry on top there for all the participants in this one. The obviously best question. This one will be voted by Jesse, not myself. Best
It'll be
question,
a team effort.
Team effort. Well, we might get Puma and Brad to comment as well. But yeah, I mean, I personally, I think it's more engaging when there's a little bit of a giveaway, towards the end. I think it's fun. So, we're doing that with really all of our AMAs, and I think that's what kind of makes it exciting for everyone, and to be a part of something. And of course, yeah. So, what do you think, Jesse? Do you think we begin kicking things off?
I think let's kick things off. It's time.
All right, let's do it. First edition of Propbase Pulse, our bi-weekly community connect. Joined here, obviously, with Jesse, who's on our leadership team. And today, we're not only really excited, but we've put a lot of preparation just to really connect with all the new community members. So this is going to be a long one. It's going to be great. You're going to hear me talking for 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Then we want to really dig into community questions, right? So we thought, how would we break up our first Propbase Pulse episode 1? Maybe 20, 30 minutes in a presentation. This can be market update, it's a product update. And for this very first one, just because there's so many new participants due to round 1 being so successful, that we really wanted to step back and get back to the basics and give what we really wanted to achieve when we started out building a advanced, sophisticated platform like Propbase. What is our long-term objective? What's the problem we're solving? And so we've got a presentation here. Jesse, I'll probably flip up to some of our slides, and we can begin to get ready to rock and roll. So,
let's do it.
This is a big one. Go wake up the kids, go get your wife, cook some popcorn, and let's get ready for a show, right? And so, so let's dive into it. I guess we'll start with really just going through what we want to cover. So this is a presentation where we're just going to kind of start from the basics, talk about everything. And one of the things we really want to highlight is what we consider to be the 3 pillars of Propbase. And so this is what we believe in. This is what we put and enforce and communicate to everyone around us and team members and everything. And so really, pillar 1 is transparency and security. And so that's our utmost, and probably one of the most important aspects, because we're dealing with real estate, because of the impact that we have, because of the value of real world assets such as real estate, and making sure that everything we do is transparent, and that's what we want to bring. That's our objective. I've personally been in real estate transactions, prop tech space, built multiple platforms over the last 10, 12 years, and in the United States and in Europe, they have fairly sophisticated, transparent systems, but in emerging markets, that transparency is not there. And that's one of the problems that we are out on a mission to solve over the next 5-year period. The second pillar is compliance, specifically regulatory compliance. So as we're dealing in real world assets, as we're dealing with large commercial assets, half of our work is really not only looking at legal documents, but also making sure the assets that we're looking to tokenize and that are built up inside of our portfolio are, not only great deals, but all of the legal and regulatory framework, all the documentation, everything is there. And getting third-party auditors to also verify and making sure that everything that we do is to the utmost compliance. And so that's really our kind of ethos. So transparency, security, regulatory compliance, and then getting into the fun stuff, which is targeted growth models. So, when we look at Propbase, unlike, a lot of projects in blockchain and in Web3, we have, a long-term roadmap. And this is really can be seen down through our tokenomics, our unlocking of our, allocations, specifically team allocations, company allocations, even foundation allocations, which are up to 60 months. So our objective over the next 5 years is to build Propbase into the largest real estate tokenization platform in Southeast Asia, and to remain focused, but yet create critical mass within the regions that we are experts in. So this is our area of expertise. I'm American, Jesse's American, but we've lived and worked in Southeast Asia for all of our professional careers. We speak multiple languages. We built multiple successful businesses in the past with multiple exits. And so this is a region that it's attractive, right? You've got, Southeast Asia as a population of, maybe more than 650 million people. You have urbanization in a lot of the bigger cities. We're currently located in Bangkok. Our team is here. City of 15 million people, right? You have new developments popping up all over the place. And it's not only in one country, it's in many countries. In addition to that, you also, specifically in Southeast Asia, you have the highest crypto adoption anywhere in the world. So 2 times that on the global average. So I think we really put together an in-depth report maybe around about a month ago, where we really came down to saying, hey, across Southeast Asia is about 8.5%, which is about double of the world average being between 3 and 4%. So we're really excited, and we're excited not only for the round 2 platform launch, which is what we're most excited for, but we're really excited for just really the next 6 months, and we've defined a very clear not only long-term roadmap, but we've also defined a short-term, near-term roadmap, which kind of highlights the steps we're going to take, and to make sure that we follow those steps and we set out realistic targets. And so that's something we're very keen on doing and have done so in the past. And I guess one of the areas is to really recap at what did we do for the first half of 2023. The market wasn't necessarily too exciting, but we accomplished quite a bit. I mean, our really aspects was not only putting in a lot of dev hours, building out our initial prototype, which you can go in onto the website, you can download, right now. But it's also securing large, massive assets that are incredibly attractive to tokenize, specifically in the hospitality industry in Thailand. So namely hotels and resorts. And so I always mention to people when they want to talk about tokenization of assets in our portfolio, we always say, wait for the official partnership agreements, which we plan for about, let's say late September, early October. But we do mention it now, like we're partnered up with Nebu World Residences. There's hotel developments, the hotel management companies, they're international partners such as Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. These are 4- and 5-star asset classes in terms of the hospitality industry or hotel industry. And the reason we like them is because we're in a region that, Thailand from a tourism perspective is growing. There's opportunity for let's say, more positive or higher rental yield, as well as asset appreciation. And just because of our backgrounds in dealing with commercial assets, dealing with residential assets, we really think that what we've got is one of the best, real estate developments, and one of the best partnerships with real estate developers, really in the country. And so as we continue to roll out, our business model is really providing turnkey solutions for real estate developers in tokenizing their assets. That's our core thesis, and doing so in a compliant and secure manner. And so whether that's end-to-end solutions, or whether they just want our tech stack, or whether they want to work with us directly and list on our platform, these are the solutions that we provide because we want to, one, build up critical mass within our region. Tokenization is incredibly exciting in Southeast Asia. So there's progressive regulatory environments. There's the Thai government just announced a $1 billion tax break for all investment tokens issued in the country. And so when we kind of came off that news, which was announced back in March, I immediately pinged up Jesse and I was like, wait, what does this mean? And because it's such a large number, and we later found out that it wasn't 1 billion USD, it was 3 billion USD. And so a majority of this was really for real estate developers in tokenizing their assets. And I'm going to add one gentleman here to the stream as well. Hudson, I got
welcome.
you in here.
Hey guys, sorry,
I'm
a bit late.
Yeah, great. No, awesome. So we're in a pretty good flow of the presentation, just talking about H1. So we participated in a lot of marketing events. We were on 10 plus conferences, events, AMAs. We did Ireland Blockchain Week, Paris Blockchain Week. We were voted top 100 projects. What we've done is we've if you look at where we were 3 months ago to where we are today, we're almost completely different, not only on a marketing perspective, but company perspective. So we identify as a tech company, right? So we don't necessarily classify as a project. We're not just building a project. Once it's live, then ready to go, it's fully automated, it can handle itself. Like, we're a tech company that's constantly evolving, and so constantly providing solutions to the problems that face the world's greatest asset. And that's the mission that we're passionate about. That's what really makes us excited in the morning to get up, work hard, 12 hours, 15-hour days. And so that's where our hearts are set. And so we've gained a lot of traction compared to where we were in earlier this year. I think H1 for us was incredibly successful. We also laid out H2 roadmap, which we are already on track with. One of the big starting areas for H2 of 2023 was our IDO Round 1. And, to be honest, it was much more successful than any one of us anticipated. Myself, Jesse, or Hudson. So, all three of us we were talking, I think, a few hours later, and with, all the support that really poured in, people who asking questions, people who are, looking for answers. And if we didn't have the answers, we would quickly try and, really investigate and try and come up with what we thought was the most, the most professional response. And so it's quite amazing. Hudson, do you have anything to add to that, or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, we're looking forward to just kind of getting things going in phase 2. We're excited for all your support.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, in phase 2, we're excited about, we can see new community members coming in. We've had tons of response, not only from people who are active in round 2, but also from smaller VCs. So, we're pretty transparent in terms of the project's fully bootstrap funded by ourselves. Where we do have angels, but no big VCs. And so we were quite adamant that we wanted to get a few things lined up for ourselves, which was really proof of concept, working out product market fit, making sure that we had demos together. And so now as we, continue to progress over the next few months and scale up, these are all aspects that we're really looking to grow into over the coming months. But our most exciting one is really round 2. And so we also had a lot of feedback, a lot because of the fact we sold out in a very short period of time. The feedback was even from our personal network that they didn't have time to get a wallet set up, and they didn't know, they thought they were going to have like 10 days. And so they weren't able to participate in round 1, and there was nothing really we could do. And even as we got up to maybe around 80% sold out in the hard cap, we had a series of individual parties call us and say, hey, look, I'll take the rest. How does this work? And we said, there's nothing we can do, right? It's all automated. There's everything runs through the smart contract upon AP launch. And so we said, hey, but we've got round 2 coming up, and so we're quite excited for round 2 as well as. But our biggest excitement is really full platform launch, first tokenization offering on the platform, and that's where we really want to drive our focus, and then obviously for the next 18 to 24 months. So I'll get into kind of just a highlight. So this was just a fun screenshot I thought we would share, and us kind of going around doing a lot of events. Some of it was incredibly during the bear. So we like to think of Propbase as bear or bull market tolerable. We're dealing in real world assets, so it's not incredibly reliant upon whether the crypto market is in a bull cycle or in a bear cycle. And so that was a lot of fun for us. And this next, few weeks, we've got a jam-packed activity for tons of AMAs, not only myself, but Jesse and Hudson. We kind of take turns kind of going around doing each one. And so really to get into then what we're trying to achieve. So as we identified specifically in Southeast Asia that property acquisition and being part of your portfolio is not accessible to a very large demographic. And if that demographic could open up, the impact that it can have on a society, not only on people in their portfolios, that's actually not what we're talking about. If people have easier access to real estate investment and more real estate can become developed, then that is inherently good for the economy of that individual country, and lifts a certain segment of people into a more advanced state. And so that's what we see really going forward is over the next 10 years, 15 years, the barrier to invest in real estate will significantly drop. And this will be largely driven by platforms like Propbase, equivalent platforms in the US, in the EU. And the growing trend really has to do with the benefits that blockchain transferability, fractionalization of the underlying asset, the ability to lower your entry point, therefore lower your consideration or your barrier, as well as to transfer that out and have liquidity from it. So that's what we're passionate about. That's where we see the industry heading. And myself, Hudson, and Jesse, we've been building marketplaces in Southeast Asia for quite a long time. We're always solving consumer problems. That's where we sit down with teams. We focus on what is the problem the consumer has, and how can we, from a technology standpoint, solve that problem. And that was really where we came to develop a sophisticated platform like Propbase. And so that's what we're most excited about, and I'll continue to kind of wrap through here. So this is our value proposition. We put some mock-ups here as well. Just a quick kind of overview. A lot of you guys do know all of us. We also have a technical team with us. Now we're onboarding more advisors. We have, marketing people who are coming on board. So I would say within our organization now, we still have like 3 people in our leadership team. In addition to this, we probably have, 4 people in our technical team, as well as some technical advisors sitting around that team to make sure that we can, and myself also on top as more of a PM, really making sure that we can continue to develop, even though we're doing marketing and even though we're doing other aspects, such as making sure that all of our acquisition of our assets are online, all of the legal documents are there. We try and do the best we can do, but we do have, a rock star team of developers. We have awesome onboarder advisors that we're onboarding, and so anyone can kind of see we've officially kind of signed up our one of them, which is Justin Wright. He's located here in Thailand, so it's great. We don't want just JPEGs on a website. We want real active advisors who can give us real advice. And so Justin Wright, he's very, very strong in Web3. He's the founder of Yield App, which is a very successful Web3 based platform, and assists us, not only really on all aspects of the business. And as we bring in more people into our leadership team, we get stronger, right? So we bring in this, and we're building what we call this mastermind group, right? Who can really help, drive this narrative where our mission in the next 5 years, become the largest tokenization platform in Southeast Asia. We ask ourselves, what does that look like? And what do we need to do? If we backlog that and look at year 4, where do we need to be? Year 3, where do we need to be? 2, and so on and so forth. And really, what do we need to do now? And so in terms of challenges today, so like this is what's facing the industry. This is the main problems that we're trying to solve. When we talk about real estate, tokenization, sometimes it gets confused with timeshare or REITs or other aspects. What we're really looking at is real estate investment. So solving the traditional problems of real estate investment and doing so at an asset unique level, right? So this really comes down to the problems in the industry today. It's low liquidity. So you've got, a real estate transaction. We've done it tons of times. I mean, specifically in past businesses. I used to be the CEO of Century 21. We've built multiple tech stacks here that are the largest in Thailand, with over 1 billion unique users, or no, not 1 billion, 1 billion page views per. What was it again, Hudson? What was the stats for our users before at Kaidi? I almost forget now because it was about 1.5 years ago.
I don't remember the page views, but we had nearly 10 million users at our peak, which is
that's right.
7th of the population in Thailand.
Our ability is to really build these scalable platforms. 10 million unique users per month at our peak, which generated about I think around almost 1 billion page views, if I'm correct, right? So these are kind of the stats that we really wanted to come in through. And so we know how to build platforms that are scalable. We know how to solve problems through technology. And, the problem of high fees, traditional real estate transactions, you're looking at, maybe transacting a property every 7 to 10 years, compared to the benefits of tokenization. It could be hundreds of transactions in minutes. That's how frequent we would ideally like to get down to, with the lowest barrier of entry to possible. Now, likely in the interim, we're going to be looking at, probably a few transactions per day, 10, 20, 30. But still, that's a significant breakthrough compared to traditional real estate investment. Additionally, there's fees. So to get in and out of an investment, you're looking at maybe 7 to 5 to 7% in terms of fees. And so I think that this is going to significantly change the way people interact with this large asset class, whether it be commercial or residential. It's also, previously it's hard to diversify. So property investment was a big decision that you made. You talked to your friends, you consulted with parents, you went to go talk to a bank, you went through a multi-month process and maybe even a year's process just to acquire one asset. So now through innovative platforms like Propbase, the barrier to entry as well as the consideration significantly drops. And so that makes it ease of use, ease of entry. And because of blockchain, we add a significant amount of transparency, which lacks in many areas around the world today. And of course, the United States, some, Switzerland or Germany or or Australia, they're going to have very transparent systems. But throughout the world, real estate transactions are inherently lack transparency. And so the innovation of utilizing blockchain to represent the underlying asset adds 100% transparency, specifically in the platform we're building, where anyone can see how many wallets own each asset and how many tokens in that wallet of that asset that wallet owns. And so you can also go back and you can look at the history of transactions. So this is really what we like about it, and adding that transparency and making it a fair playing field, not only for sellers but also for people who are looking to join our platform. They can go back, they can see the transparency behind it. There's not a lot of gray area. Those are kind of the 6 main problems that we're out to solve. And this is the transformation. So it starts with a marketplace. Within our marketplace, we offer the benefits of fractional ownership. Our whole objective is liquidity. How can we provide liquidity for investors who invest in our first assets, right? How can we get them in and out at a profit in a way that they feel comfortable with? Because once we do, we know, one, they're going to recommend 10 friends. And that's how we begin this kind of good flywheel model. So everything we do at a product design level, at a strategy level, when we talk, is how can we get people in, and how can we make sure that that first asset that we onboard is super attractive, right? So a lot of work actually goes into securing the first assets and to making sure that they're adequately priced, making sure that there's consistency not only in yield being generated, but also in asset appreciation, and making sure that those first participants can get out of the asset at a time and price of their choosing. And so that's inherently the model that we're building. And how are we doing it? Well, we're building infrastructure. We're building infrastructure for modern real estate transactions, is what we call. It could be an entire property. It could be fractions of property. It doesn't matter. And utilizing the benefits of blockchain smart contract functionality to do what they're designed to do, which is the redundancy of administrative tasks. And so and being able to have all of the benefits that were previously challenges, such as hard to diversify, not transparent, a very friction heavy environment for title and escrow agents, right? So before assets get tokenized on our platform, they go through a strict due diligence process by us. And before they get tokenized, they have to first reach sort of a point of validity, which actually I'm going to wait on that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as we get into our tokenization process. So really getting into now the product. So you can go in, on our demo, you can see we built an early version prototype. From a model standpoint, we're currently working on those same iterations. We're just doubling down on the functionality, the security, the tokenization module of it right now. And we're we're really looking at probably near around maybe 90 to 120 more days of development before we're ready for full platform launch. And there's a lot of leeway in there, but we're quite excited. And so our objective really is to be able to tokenize assets within this year, towards the end of this year, specifically our first asset. And if worst case scenario, we're looking at January, that's fine. But for full platform launch, we want to do it, as early as possible. We want to get out there. We want to get in the market. Our token, specifically props, unlocks on October 30th. We're super excited about that. That's also DEX listing. So we've kind of got this whole coordinated short-term, near-term roadmap, which aligns with everything. And we're really, this is probably the most fun part. We're probably way more fun than H1 2023. And so, and one of the aspects is making it, standalone. So on ramp, off ramps, we were exploring with and rolling out some integrations with last week. We're looking at then for future development, which is currently not in this these next few sprints, but is rolling out a global registry. So whether you're on the app or not on the app, you can still go in and you can see transactions. And so that's really what makes us excited. And so this is just a refresh. So from the current demo prototype that we've got on our platform now, which anyone can go in and check out, we've upgraded our UI UX refresh. We're currently now, our development team is on progress with the tokenization module. So we're looking at that. We're integrating with Morales. So we are building on Aptos. The first token that we offer will be in the Move smart contract language. Our native utility token is built on Aptos. And so for the near term, we're looking really, to keep it in one ecosystem. And as we begin to explore more opportunities and grow and become stronger, then kind of reassess where we want to be at that point in time. In terms of marketplace development, we have a very strong front end, back end system already. We're now just looking and working on steps with IPFS integration. So this is specific for documents associated with the underlying asset. So these documents are things like the sale and purchase agreements, all of the regulatory compliance agreements, the title, things like title, land deed, everything, all the document stack that you would want to see to do your research prior to making any investment. And all the supporting documents are stored on IPFS, and the underlying hash is linked directly into the smart contract where the tokens are generated. So we kind of have this standalone model where even if something happens to Propbase in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, or another company acquires us, or if something goes wrong, that no matter what, the underlying asset still remains intact. Nothing happens to its value. When we are beginning to think about large asset classes like this and impacting the industry in the way that we do, we always think about what is the worst possible scenario. What is the long-term, objectives here? And so then the next one is really just, basic site structure. So we're kind of showing some designs here. We're quite happy with them. Myself being very much involved at I guess more of a product management level now, compared to getting down into the code and building ourselves. So we're quite excited now that we've got quite a strong team. So we previously had 2, now we have 4, and then we have support team of probably about 4 more people around them where we can really provide the expertise we need in order to really get going. But we've built so far compared to even before our IDO that we were already much more advanced than other projects going through an IDO. And so we're already very confident about that from a product level. Also from an inventory level, I think we have, product, we're going to be issuing out one of the most innovative products from asset level. We've not only do we have, probably in my opinion, one of the best asset classes in Thailand. which is super attractive, by reputable developers that have 25-year track records. We also now have built a secondary portfolio of additional residential properties. So, these are really what makes it valuable to use the platform, because if people want to invest in property and they can see a lower barrier to entry and they see that we have attractive properties, that's what people want, right? So without the hassle of managing tenants or dealing with property maintenance or mowing lawns, right? So going into it then, so I'll kind of briefly go through our tokenization process. I'm going to speed it up here a little bit. So before assets are tokenized on our platform, they go through a rigorous due diligence process. So developer applies, they go through the due diligence, we incorporate the asset, could be through our securitization vehicle, it could be through an LLC. It goes through an external audit. Once then, we then deploy the smart contract, we then generate the token, we offer it on our platform. It goes through a soft cap. So once the soft cap's reached, then the ownership is considered solidified, right? And then that's where the transfer of token happens. Yield is allocated directly through smart contracts and individuals through a bulletin board secondary market system that we're going to develop at our next stage after full platform launch. Is users can buy and sell and trade between other users. And so all in almost in a decentralized manner, almost entirely in a decentralized manner, which is, very cool for us in terms of going through. How yield is allocated specifically. So it depends on, you have investors of property, you have actually the property developer. As mentioned, we deal specifically with real estate developers. So these developers, they're multi-projects, they're often publicly traded, and they're, have, track records, 10, 20, 30 years. And then this is our run through process, and specifically how our marketplace props integrates into the platform and how rental yield is distributed, as well as how payment of the underlying asset is distributed. And so going into this, and I'll highlight here, never can an asset ever be removed from the underlying entity. So how our platform works, you go through a few simple steps: select property, select the amount of tokens that you want to purchase, confirm your purchase, and if you so choose, you can verify in the blockchain. And prior to that, there's just a quick KYC AML process going through, which is similar to other platforms where you maybe take 4 hours up to a day in order to get approved. Our end users really are property investors, but we're building a platform that is also for potentially enterprise, small funds, but not only retail, but we're also, largely targeting, and the biggest inquiries that we have is from people we consider to be special investors, accredited investors, or qualified investors. And so these are the people who are really looking not just to put in, a few $100, but they're looking to invest $10, $20, $30,000. And so you can imagine the impact when we really start, attracting real estate investors to come in, and the impact that has on the native utility token. So, and the assets. So we're right now focused on commercial assets in the hospitality industry. We're looking at really being focused in hotels and resorts. We like those assets the most. We like the management complex. We like the maintenance, the dispersal of yield being generated, the amount of yield. We don't want to have to worry about tenants. We don't want to have to worry about property management. We ourselves invest in every property. We do not buy them before and fix them up and sell them on our platform. We come almost at the same conclusion that participants would want, which is this a good investment? Do we think this is a good investment? Would we ourselves invest in this? And if so, are we secure that we'll get the returns that we, are being highlighted? And so that's kind of, a lot of the due diligence process that comes through for us. Going through then on the props token. So we brought into here kind of a few aspects. One is we're building everything around our native utility token. And so this is props, right? So from a development perspective, whenever we come up with a new module, the first thing that we look at is how can props add utility to this feature. And so everything we do and everything we design from this standpoint is really at this core belief. And I'll kind of run through here quickly, just, going through our allocations, why we chose these allocations. These are great tokenomics. They're fair for the community. They're awesome. We don't have a huge allocation of VCs behind us. We have a gracious IDO supply amount. And this is really what we're excited about. So we want to see our native utility token price rise. We want to see it be stable for long-term growth. The people who invest now in round 1, round 2, our whole objective is to make sure that they, we provide that stability, we provide that growth. We ourselves grow as a company. And so I think our tokenomics are designed in such a way that we know they are designed in such a way to create that sustainability. So just going into then round 1, round 2. So we do have kind of a brief overview here. Just of the allocations. We also have an in-depth article really stating exactly why we chose these allocations, but they're strong comparative to any other project. They are the ones that last for unlocks up to 60 months. We've got almost 5-year roadmap ahead of us, and so our tokenomics are built into that roadmap, which is encouraging, right? So. Going into then our projections, so 5-year projections, we're looking to tokenize not millions of dollars in real estate. We're looking to tokenize big assets. We work directly with real estate developers. We provide them with technical solutions. We want to see the growth not only on our platform, but we want to see their growth as well. How do we backtrack this? What do we look like? We took a lot of time, myself, Hudson, Jesse, to really identify a 5-year roadmap that wants us to be there. And what does that look like in terms of market cap of props in 5 years? What does it look like in terms of the actual price? How do unlockings work? What's our fully diluted market cap at that point in time? And what is our circulating supply? And so how many users do we need and what types of users? So this is our key metric to really show, hey, when we say we're going to be the biggest real estate tokenization platform in Southeast Asia, this is our thinking. This is how we're getting to there. And where do we need to be at year 1, year 2, year 3, and how do we kind of work ourselves back? And this is our roadmap going in through. So this is the entire year. It's very simplistic. We have on our website a much shorter one, or no, excuse me, a much more detailed one in terms of technical development. But also we have really, even kind of highlighted our near-term roadmap. So right now we're about right here. We did our IDO round 1 in July 10th. We have subsequent rounds, which are highlighted in black here. And this is on our website, and you can go in and check it out, right? So we're quite excited. We've got, a whole bunch of stuff ahead of us, and now we can get into questions. Woo, that was a long one. Okay, let's rock and roll. All right, so here we go. Okay, let's get into it. So how do you guys want to do the questions?
I think will Puma send us a selection, because I know Puma's been talking to we've had a lot of questions come in, and I know Puma's been monitoring those. Maybe he can send us those directly, and we can then try to answer them. A lot of questions, but we appreciate all the questions, so thank you, everybody. Puma, would you DM us with the questions that you think we should get to first?
Yeah, we're looking through now. So thank you for that, everyone. We did want to go through a long one, and this is, for people here who are on the community, but it's also for people who want to watch this later. And so we really wanted to make sure that we were able to cover and go through as much as we could to give all new participants as much information to get caught up as much as possible.
I see that one question.
Okay, so we've got one question that says, even after listing product launch, that's great. Yeah, so our roadmap is to our token unlocks for round 1 participants on October 30th. And our objective is to do a DEX listing shortly after, within maybe 7 days. I think we announced November 6th. And then if we can, we also have a sex listing platform strategy where we would love to be able to do it at a similar time. But in our near-term roadmap, we did put it at Q1 of 2024. But that's definitely on our roadmap, is a sex listing. And we've already talked with all of the partnerships and have that incorporated into our business planning, as well as sign things like NDAs to make that happen. And so that involves kind of a spectrum of a few different parties. But we're looking to, all 3 parties are in the top 10 for sex listings, but we will disclose, let's say we'll disclose probably 1 week before listing as we begin to market. Okay, let's get into here. I'm going to hop into here. Just working with our moderation team. Okay, guys. So we've got unlock in 60 months. Yeah, not every allocation is unlocked in 60 months, but the important allocations like team allocations, so company allocations, the foundation allocations, rewards allocations, which are 35% of the supply. So those have 60-month lockups. Things that have shorter lockups are liquidity, our liquidity pool, our marketing pool, things that are just necessary to go into, as well as some seed allocations as well. Okay, so a property that can be marketed on the Propbase platform must go through a series of stages. Can you explain the process that is carried out to select the property to be marketed? It's a great question. We only Propbase can vet properties and list properties on our platform. So, and we work directly with real estate developers in tokenizing their assets. So first, what would happen is this is currently in the process. Real estate developers who are in our network generally know what we're doing, and they contact us. They earmark a few assets that they're interested to tokenize. And then we begin the conversation. And I can tell you that it might be 5% of the assets that are currently offered to us that we would actually select. So we have a very rigorous due diligence process. And the reason is because we want to make sure that the asset is adequately priced. We want to make sure that it has professional property management, that it has good yield generation, and that the likelihood of the asset appreciating maybe higher than industry norms is higher than let's say countrywide or regionally. Oh, okay. So Crypto Raver's got a small issue with his KYC on Fractal. Sure, that's not a but if you guys, people who are participating in round 2 who have technical problems, you can go on to AP Launch chat and then they'll solve those problems, or someone in our community will also do the best that they can do. How do you become eligible to participate? Do you mean on the platform for real estate tokenization, or okay? So let's say for it's kind of the same way. For participating in IDO Round 2, you go onto our Launchpad Partners website, you complete your KYC, and you can go to our website, or you can get a whitelist spot from someone in our community, and from one of our moderators, and then you'd be able to participate at the earliest possible time. In terms of participating for real estate tokenization on our platform, roughly the same process. You just sign up to the platform, you go through a KYC process, and you come through. So now answering another question by Mei Ang. Is there a strategy behind doing 3 rounds of IDO? I find it's interesting, but it's less likely to decide to do it. Yeah, the strategy is simple. Most projects do multiple rounds of fundraising. There's a few reasons behind this. One is you have clear benchmarks for price validation. You have areas for not only for price validation, but you also allow time for the project to progress. So I think most projects that I'm aware of will do a few different things. They could do private rounds, maybe 1 or 2 private rounds, then they do a public round, or maybe they do 2 or 3 public rounds, and then they do a big IDO. I guess the only difference is what we call them. So we call them IDOs. But really it's just a smaller public round was round 1. Our round 2 is similar. So people who are investing in the IDO round 1, IDO round 2, they're community members, people who are associated with our project, business partners, all that kind of stuff. And then as we get towards, let's say, round 3, that is the big one coming through. But that's a great question. We get that a lot. We actually love the strategy of doing it because it provides different price validations for each launching stage. And so therefore rewards benefits. But what we've also tried to do is keep it relatively the same for round 1, round 2. And in round 3, we look at to be significantly different. So that's kind of the method there. Okay, we can keep going. Let's keep going here. So we've got, let's choose the next one. Well, as we're coming up on the hour, maybe we'll do the giveaways, guys.
Sounds good.
So we've got a few things here. Few comments coming in. So thanks for the comments, guys. Look, this is our first one and we plan to hold these every 2 weeks. So I'll tell you that this one is going to be a bit longer. Our next ones will probably be a bit shorter. And I think that, one, this is great. I think, what we'll do is we'll probably even allow a little bit of time before the YouTube to really come in and get your questions before, so we can kind of shortlist. So maybe even at the start, we might answering some questions next time as well. And so we've got quite a few comments here. I think, Jesse, you want to go through and we can kind of maybe eyeball out some winners and then see how we can get going?
I'm sending you a message.
Yeah, okay. So another one is obviously going into compliance issues. So everything we do is compliant within the legal and regulatory framework of where the asset's located. And so we've gone through all of our licensing process as well. And prior to any asset listing, we will be showing those supporting within the supporting documentation of the first offering. And then as we look to expand, but we're really focused here in Southeast Asia, we'll also be having a list of people who can participate on the platform. But really, when we're looking at it, we're doing everything that we can do in order to make sure that we are compliant within the legal and regulatory framework of really where the asset's located, as well as types of marketings that we do in other regions. But because we've been on this for quite a while, we started our first legal and regulatory processes before we started building. We're able to get things set up at an earlier date. We're quite happy with where we're at in terms of that process, specifically with our first asset, which we'll be announcing probably in the next 45 days, something like this. Okay. So we have one of the winners. Hudson, do you want to announce them, or Jesse?
The first winner, and I hope I get the pronunciation right, I apologize if I get it wrong, would be Mayank, that's Mayank, who asked a number of good questions, but one of them is, I would like to know why you are deleting 20% of total circulating supply. Thank you for that question. It's an excellent question. We do our very best to be, as transparent as we can about our tokenomics so that you will understand. So we do appreciate people who are looking into our tokenomics and asking us what could be tough questions, because we're putting it all on the table here for you here. So congratulations, Mayank. You are the first winner.
Ooh, nice one.
And yeah. I'll let.
Yeah, good. Okay, and then the second one. Thank you, Mayank. Mayank was really coming through with some great questions there. And obviously, Mayank, if you feel that we didn't answer your question, you can just ping me or anyone in our leadership team or anyone in our Telegram.
Shall we announce our second winner?
So Mayank, can you give us your? Can you give us your? Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Okay, so Hudson, do you think the next one?
Yeah, so I think our second winner is Mansoor. So thank you for your question on Southeast Asia, why we chose to focus on this region. Hopefully Kevin answered that earlier as well. It's where we're based, but also it's a growing area of the world where real estate is being developed for a growing middle class. So we see a lot of growth horizon there. So congratulations to Mansoor and Mayank.
Yeah, Mansoor and Mayank. I hope you guys can get Mansoor. I hope you can get your. Okay, got him. Mansoor, can you send me through here your Twitter or your Telegram handle? So we'll split these prizes maybe 50-50, Hudson.
Sounds good.
Yeah, $50, $50. So we'll be sending it via APT. So you guys will need to have your APT wallet, and you can send to us. You can send to myself or Puma, and we will get you handled probably right after this call. And if we didn't answer any questions here, that you guys thought were valuable, bring them up next 2 weeks, or ping me directly, or we can try and get to them in our group chat. And so, yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go forward. Okay.
Sounds great.
I think this is a good one. So this one was long. We really covered quite a bit, everyone. And thank you. So I think I hope we have everyone. And I think that we are trying to get everyone there. Okay, great. Okay, I've got it. We've got everything there. Hudson, you want to add anything?
No, again, thanks everyone for joining us for this AMA. Like Kevin said, this is the first in a series, so we're working out some of the kinks. Thanks for participating with us as we're kind of going live with our updates. And like he said, if you have questions that we haven't answered, just ping us. We're not trying to avoid you if we didn't get to it. There's just a lot of good questions. So shoot them over. We'll answer them. Keep us accountable in the next, iterations of Propbase Pulse. And, thanks for being active participants. And, we're looking forward to being on the rocket ship with you.
Yeah, sure. This is a fun one. All right, guys. So, and next time we'll try and get started a little bit earlier. So we'll stay on the 30-minute kind of presentation, 20-minute, 30 presentation, and then maybe 20, 30-minute questions.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. All right, you guys, we're going to hop off now. And thank you for this. This was a nice experience. And we hope to see you on the next one.
See you guys. Good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are.